So welcome to another one of my daily vlogs. So today was a fairly productive day. I worked on, I've been building out some lead magnets, some ads for the agency and sort of for this new program too. And so what I'm going to integrate is, what I've realized is that I need to have some sort of cold traffic flow, because as good as content is, like, content attracts some awesome leads, right? The leads that come through content are super pre-sold, but then you need to fill that pipeline with some colder traffic as well, because content, the reach on it on almost every platform has gone down. And then basically the best people on each platform get way more leads and people coming through to their content than ever before, right? So just like wealth is concentrating, attention is concentrating in the world as well. And unfortunately, unless you want to spend a hell of a lot more time doing content, which I enjoy and I'm obviously doing, you need to have a bit of cold traffic coming through to just one, to diversify, and also it just helps supercharge things along, right? Because it adds leverage. So if you create a piece of content, you can get more people to see it. Like, say I make a framework of how to run my Google ads or how I run my agency, then basically I can create that framework, have a landing page where people opt in, and then I can run ads to get more people to see it than if I just had, comments in my links, a pinned comment on my YouTube video, or the link in the comments there, or talking about it in my content and people find it, emailing people about it. But then you obviously need to grow that email list, right? So that's always been a bit of a missing piece of, like, I've dabbled in it, but I'm kind of just scared to launch, and I don't know why. I think it's, one part, it's probably a little bit of self-conscious, fear of doubt, not wanting to fail, not wanting people to see my ads for some reason. My idea at the moment is to increase my local presence, because locally I find I just have a much higher success rate, and I'm sure you would too in your country if you're there and you're running an agency. Like, try running some local ads and becoming the go-to expert. And there's a few people that teach that. Jeff Miller, Agency Scaling Secrets, he's quite big on that. And it makes sense, because, like, even if you're just pushing your best pieces of content, or if you're crafting ads of just like, hey, Gold Coast e-commerce stores, are you running Google ads, not getting the results you want, or wanting to scale them, or having issues, or just brand coming up, you can identify all the pain points that they have. You could put a really good offer, like, if I don't beat your current agency or the current person running the ads, then you don't pay and I'll refund you, something like that. You'll see Kai Bax does some pretty cool offers in that space. You can kind of become the go-to local expert by doing that, and that's kind of my current approach. Also with a lead magnet as well, and then a few things that touch on people's pain points. But the other thing that kind of got me thinking was I wanted to run some case study ads, because the video I did the other day of 0 to 100K, which I'll do an update on that. We're almost at 200K for the month. Well, we're on track to do that for this month, so really cool. But kind of got me going, like, most people are really bad at sharing their results. And that's e-commerce businesses, and that's also people that run agencies and freelancers and any online marketer. Like, especially people in Australia, we have tall poppy syndrome. We don't want to be seen about bragging. And so some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about now, I'm not actually bragging. I'm just kind of wanting to do case studies on it. So I'm like, well, what cool stuff have I done? I've helped some awesome, even just local brands like Ant Brothers Electric, who's a really good client of mine. When they first started, they were working out of their mechanic workshop, and now they moved into a warehouse. Then they bought the warehouse next door. Then they bought the warehouse next to that. Then they bought the whole next premises next door, and they've made this massive warehouse setup and office. And they've gone from ticking over, not doing many sales. They're an electric bike brand, awesome brand, to doing really, really decent 8 figures now. So, like, the business growth has been amazing, and just seeing that evolution and what they've had to do and what they've had to change. And then cool thing about that one is also help them with, like, the wholesale side as well. So, like, wholesale e-commerce is such a big untapped market, and virtually pretty much any brand can get into it. And Shopify Plus's wholesale channel is so good. Like, and you can make it look just like a website. You can have payment terms and stuff in there, and then, like, the sales will grow exponentially. Then that also came with growing sales for their dealers, because they have dealers, and so they built a whole wholesale network there. That's just one brand, and I started off with them, not at day one, but like very, very early on, and I helped them initially set up the strategy, and then I've continued to help them scale that business as well. And obviously I'm not taking credit for it, but like I've been there since day one, still getting good results, still outperforming. And actually I help them with their Meta ads as well. And while I'm not great at Meta, I'm getting like phenomenal return on ad spend because they've got a great product. Once you've got a great product, it's so much easier to market. And that's why it's like, if you want to find clients, go after good products and good brands. Like if you're going after someone that hasn't got a good product or a good brand and they're not a good business, like what do you expect? Like you're kind of pushing shit uphill really, aren't you? Because you're going to struggle to help them get results. It's much easier to go in and help someone that's doing really well do even better. Another brand, it's a really, really famous tapware brand in Australia. I've helped them, and like they came on with me in early 2020, just before the pandemic. And then they stayed with me for a few years. Then they left for a couple of months. A new agency came in because like we grew massively with them too. Like they were spending, I believe, 25, 30K per month, maybe 50 some months in the bigger months. And they were getting like a 1 or 2x return on ad spend. And literally in basically 60 days, I took that to over 10x return on ad spend and that same ad spend. And then they started to invest more. Then they started to expand into other countries. And I think when I first went there, they had like 4 employees, something like that, 5, 6. It was very low, single digit employees. And they had like 1 little office. And then since then they've built like a massive purpose-built warehouse where they consolidated multiple things, multiple businesses. And then they also, grew a massive team, and like they're just doing phenomenally. Again, a lot of B2B in that business as well, and help them do awesome. Like it's still growing, which is amazing. Occasionally we have some tracking issues, but we're working through that. And it's just phenomenal, the growth I've seen from them. Then I helped a supplement brand called Alkaline Superfoods, and that business owner, when he came to me, was doing around 8K per month in sales. Now they consistently do like 300 plus K per month. Really small, lean operation, which means a lot of profit for them as well. Supplements have really high margins. We did the customer lifetime value on that business, and the average customer buys from them 14 times. I think their LTV was something like $4 grand, 3.5 grand, 4 grand. So if you wanted to, you could spend 4 grand roughly to buy a customer, and you know they're going to come back 14 times. That's at this point. We helped them expand into the US, and the previous business actually that I mentioned, we helped them expand into 2 other countries as well. So which is really cool. But the cool thing about Alkaline was like, I've helped him now move his whole family to the US. And again, I'm not saying this to brag. It's just like, you've got to sit down sometimes and go, wow, I've done some cool stuff, because it helps you go, well, how do I price something? Because it's like, quite often we underprice things, and it's like, hold on, we managed to help someone move countries, establish a business that fully funds their life and their kids and their wife to go overseas. That needs to be priced accordingly, right? Just like with the other examples as well. And it's like, you don't necessarily go in and be greedy, but it's like, whatever you're doing needs to match, because your energy won't match what you do, and you won't put the effort in unless you're getting properly compensated. And it always needs to work, in my view, in the client's favor. You shouldn't be winning more than them. They should be winning more than you. Otherwise, this formula just doesn't work. But they're just some of the cool wins that, off the top of my head, there's a lot of other ones I could rattle off. I've actually just done a LinkedIn little bio thing where I've listed some of them. Helped another business actually based in Adelaide, and they they've had some issues, but overall, like, Google has been such a stable source of revenue for them. And that's the beautiful thing about it, that it just consistently brings in revenue. And across a few of their brands, it's several $1 million in sales that Google's generated for them, which is amazing. And it's their main channel. So, and then that new one that I mentioned earlier that I took on, like, what was that, in November? Like, they've grown a lot. A tea brand that I took on last year that was doing really awesome. They've actually just paused, but hoping that they will be back soon. This is just all part of it, right? People sometimes go, come. But on average, most people have been with me, I reckon, for like 4 years on average, which is really high, I think. I've got very low churn, which is awesome. But yeah, just wanted to share some of that of what I'm working on. Just let you know, kind of, you're going to need to sit back sometimes and reassess and go, wow, I've done some cool stuff. Don't beat yourself up. and then tell people, because that's going to help me get more clients. If I had all those case studies up, right, you guys would be interested in watching them, and other business owners would be interested in seeing what I can do and then potentially signing on. So I'm going to put that stuff out, see how it goes, and I've got some cool videos. I just filmed a video that'll be coming out very, very soon. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.